Here at Ickonic, we pride ourselves on screening original content designed to empower you and help you live up to your full potential. Well, our final guest this evening has made an exclusive series for the channel, which looks at the different ways we can heal ourselves and live healthy, fulfilled lives. Jason Hairston's new series, Self-Mastery Science, brings together experts from all over the world, all telling us how we can heal from trauma, reclaim our personal sovereignty, be the human beings that we're meant to be, and help create a new culture on Earth. Episode 1 screened last night, and if you missed it, don't worry, we'll be playing it again at the end of the show. In the meantime, here's a little taster of what you can expect.
I'm Jason Hairston, and this is Self-Mastery Science. What I do as a healing artist is I help people find the buried parts of themselves underneath trauma. Self-Mastery Science brings insight to our full potential as energetic technology. There's a code running, an energetic code running inside of you. But when you experience pain emotionally, it's because your code has busted. When uncertainty is all around, this is the perfect time to do the inner work because you're in the space of the unknown. So to understand our technology is to understand the deeper aspect of our collective purpose. I'll be talking to experts about culture, abundance, relationships, and much more. Within each episode, we'll explore how you can reclaim your sovereignty. You'll either be a student of life or a victim of circumstance. You have to choose. My name is Jason Hairston, and you can catch my show, Self-Mastery Science, exclusively on Ickonic Media.
Jason, welcome to Right Now. Can you tell us a little bit about the series and what people can expect?
Thanks for having me, Gareth. I appreciate you. And yes, so Self-Mastery Science is about merging mysticism with science, which means grounding spiritual concepts in the form of principles, okay? So what I like to do is when I teach, I like to give principles to people, right? That they may have not recognized. Because if you want to alleviate your suffering, you have to understand how nature works. And nature works on sets of principles that you can, they work on sets of principles that you can recognize on your own if you're present enough, okay? So my goal is to give tools that you can apply in your life to change your life in the spiritual aspect.
So you describe yourself as a healing artist. What does that mean?
Yes.
And what do you do personally?
Okay, so in the past, I was more focused on doing one-on-one sessions with people, doing a lot of retreats and things of that nature. And I'm parlaying into a new position, calling myself a healing artist, because I'm gonna start using music, movies, and different types of media to teach through the arts. Because in this way, I can reach more people. And that's why I'm parlaying into becoming a healing artist, because I want to reach more people through content that I create.
So in this series, you speak to several experts about empowerment and personal sovereignty. In terms of the first episode, who's featuring in that?
On the first episode, we have Jay English, who is a very good friend of mine. We've done several retreats all over the country called Healing the Heart Space, and we've been good friends for a while. And I brought him on the show because we spend a lot of time talking about principles of life and talking about how we can create more tools to help people learn how to heal themselves. So it was only right for me to bring him on the show so people can hear his point of view as well.
Of course. So how exactly do you reclaim your personal sovereignty? Is there a kind of a one size fits all, or is it different depending on the person?
For me, claiming your personal sovereignty is recognizing what's real for yourself.
Right.
Recognizing how you actually really feel about things that are happening in your life, about subjects, etc. A lot of times we choose to go along with the narrative that whatever group think that we cling to goes along with, because we want to be accepted by that group. So when you become a sovereign being, you start to walk into the world as your true, authentic self outside of the group think echo chambers, right? And when you do that, you step more into your power and you project a more powerful energy because you're really being who you truly are. And this is why I always preach how important it is for you to accept your true self and be your true self in the world. Because if you're your true self in the world, you will be a gift to the world. Because we are all unique beings that have unique gifts. So if we want to bring our unique gifts to the world, we have to allow ourselves to be who we truly are when we walk in the world.
It's interesting you mentioned about the start of that answer, you're talking about being in an echo chamber. So in terms of the other guests that you feature on the series, are these a wide range of guests from completely different areas?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I purposely chose people who think outside of the group think echo chambers because I wanted to give people a different perspective, right? That's more aligned to me. Being sovereign is being more aligned with nature, right? Being more aligned with the universal truths that you can witness in your life. And a lot of times when you limit yourself to a group think mentality, you limit yourself to the ideology that has a ceiling within that group. But if you open yourself up to how the world actually works based off of paying attention and being more aware and present, then you will start to see principles, you start to see laws that you can witness right in front of you. And those principles may be outside of the scope of the group that you've attached yourself to. So you have to allow yourself to be open to life, the natural aspect of life, as opposed to the ideologies of groupthink echo chambers.
So almost stepping away from tribalism, basically, which seems to be quite a thing.
Well, here's the thing. Tribalism and groupthink in itself is not a negative thing if it's based off of the true principles of nature. But we're suffering so much in the world because we have chosen to attach we have chosen to attach ourselves rather to ideas and concepts that are so far away from nature, right? So the groupthink becomes toxic when it's not aligned with nature. So what we have to do, and this is why I keep talking about creating a new culture that's based off of the natural laws of life itself, right? And when you make decisions that is based on nature and aligns with nature, it alleviates suffering because your life becomes more efficient when you make decisions that move along with nature as opposed to against nature. And a lot of these groupthink echo chambers promote agendas that move against nature, right? So we have to get back to our natural state because it's within us, but we've been so indoctrinated to be unnatural with these unnatural ways of thinking and ideologies that we've gone so far from creating alongside nature that we've created a lot of suffering because of that.
Of course. In terms of that brand new culture, how would that look in terms of people's day-to-day lives? So say for instance now, let's start a brand new culture. How would people's lives change? How would they have to change the way they lived?
Okay, so the culture I'm talking about starting is based off of 4 principles: love, honor, integrity, and respect. So if you take those 4 principles and you build anything on top of them, it will be integral. So even if you have a business, if you go against any of those principles, like manipulating people, doing anything like that, you're going against the principles. So if you add anything on top of that foundation, you will create something that's more aligned with nature, more aligned with peace, harmony, and balance. But see, when you're greedy and you manipulate people just to make money, you lie to people just to make money, you're going against nature's law because you're creating problems by manipulating people into things. So I want to create a culture that includes music, education, medicinal systems, and everything that's based around those 4 principles that's truly for the people. Because in most cases, when we look at capitalistic businesses, it's based around a sociopathic way of being. It's just about the bottom line and making money. And whenever I operate, it's not just about the bottom line for me. It's about me bringing forth things for humanity that can help them see things in a different way, that can help them see how to create more peace for themselves. Because I'm dedicated to those 4 principles: love, honor, integrity, and respect. I'm not a perfect man, but I am a righteous man. And if I do something that's outside those principles, I will come back and make amends because I understand those principles will help all of us stay on track with nature.
Yeah. Have you always seen the world this way? Or is it as a result maybe of some kind of trauma yourself? You've maybe, I find out of experience, life has a way of kicking you in the face if you're stepping out of line a little bit. Is that something that's happened perhaps? Or have you always kind of seeing the world this way?
Yes, it's a combination of two things. Even when I was a young kid, I've always thought differently. I
Right.
was always pretty much an outcast because I could see things from a wider lens, a wider frame, right? So I always thought differently because of that. But as I matured and traveled the world and grew, right, I started to do my own self mastery work. And when I would suffer, what I would do is I would take the time to ask the question, why am I experiencing pain right now? And I would be honest with myself and look for the root. What is it that I'm doing that's causing me this pain? And then I would recognize the pattern. Oh, so when I do this, that's what's causing the pain. I keep doing this. So I change my action and then the pain stops coming. So the pain is just a signal showing you that you're going against nature. You're doing something wrong. You're doing something that's inefficient. Any issue in the world, you can give me any issue in the world. The problem is stagnated energy. So when you make decisions that cause a stagnation, it leads to suffering. So the question is, what do you need to remove from the equation, or what do you need to add to the equation to make the situation more efficient? And whatever the answer is to that question is the solution to the problem.
Yeah, it sounds like the answer to a lot of it is the ability to put your eyes on yourself, which I know a lot of people struggle with, but you've
Yes.
obviously been able to do that, and I'm the same. It's very important to do that. You mentioned earlier in terms of this new culture, music being a big part of that. You wrote the soundtrack to this show yourself as well. Can you tell us about that?
Well, my friend Craig Washington, aka C Dub, he scored the show. He did the theme, but I recorded a soundtrack for the Self Mastery Science show. I recorded 8 songs. So each song mirrors each episode. So the first episode was about culture, and I recorded a song called Call of Duty, which is a concept song where I played a character of a young black kid in America who's playing Call of Duty with a young rich kid in India. And I'm having a conversation with this kid. You don't hear the Indian kid responding, but I'm talking to him, talking about my problems I'm having in my life, and you can see that we're close friends, right? I'm more comfortable in a war zone with some kind of control. My parents lose control, the arguing takes a toll on my soul, I feel fidgety. I know you understand me, I remember when your sister left and abandoned the family. That was messed up, yeah I feel you, they never seem to take into account a valid point of view. But at least I got bread, my father loafing. Can never keep a job cause he always drinking and smoking. My mother be working doubles, I wish that I could lessen her burden. All the worrying and cursing is from her hurting. So the whole concept of this song is to show how gaming, games like Call of Duty blend different cultures, and kids become friends with people from different cultures, and it's breaking down the racial barriers, right? But the older people are still trying to uphold some of that racism. So it's just showing how it's bringing culture together by playing games like Call of Duty, and that was the whole concept, and that's why it's mirroring the first episode talking about culture in itself.
That's great. It sounds very much like the series is just about uniting people and bringing us back to the state that we should be. So that's fantastic. I look forward to watching it.
Yes.
And thank you so much for talking to us, Jason.
Thanks for having me, Gareth. I appreciate you.